Hello and welcome to another video. So today I have this Duesi indoor hydroponic growing system. So essentially this is the whole kit, everything you'll need except for the seeds to start your own hydroponic system. So it has a water circulator on the bottom, so you won't get any root rot or anything like that. It has 12 grow pods, different strength lights for different phases of plant growth, essentially everything. So I have my area, nice area here with the bonsai and everything, and I just kind of made a little spot in the table here, and I'm gonna grow many different things. I have 6 different seeds here, so we're gonna try to set it up and go through the whole process together. I'm hoping to post like weekly update videos or bi-weekly depending on how much growth I get, to kind of show you guys how much I'm growing, if there's any harvest, and that's gonna take a few months, of course, to get any usable plants. I plan to grow cilantro, basil, lettuce, Roma tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, as well as some arugula. So we'll see how all of that works. I might not get, much out of a lot of that, but I'll try. So this is the LED panel on top. You do have to remove the film, so make sure you do that, otherwise you probably won't be getting the max, like the best light. So it says remove the film from both sides before assembly and use. All right, so both sides. There's no, I don't see a film on this side, so I think this is it. So you can see the whole LED assembly. These connectors are under the glass. The glass is so clean that you can't really, it almost seems like there is no glass, but there's a glass there. And you can see different LEDs here in a pattern. On the top here, you have the power button. You have vegetable mode, flower mode, and then the pump. So we'll learn how to use all of those in a little bit. In the meantime, let's see what else we have inside. So as you can see here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pods to grow. You have these areas to like add water, so you can cover that up when you're not using it. And then this is where the stand for the light will go. All right. So right off the bat, this is the stand. Let's see how tall it goes. Okay, so it's supposed to be about 2 feet or so, so this looks to be 2 feet. So there's that power connector in there, so you get the power to the LED lights. We're gonna snap it in place here. That's all it takes. And on the top, so this obviously goes through here. We're gonna take it off for now, or let's see. This is the water pump, the adapter, and then there's the water pump is in here, built in. So you can connect the water pump here, like so that it's like nice and steady there. Let's open up the adapter and connect it so we can have it all working. So you do need a open wall outlet for this to function. So make sure you do have an outlet close to here. So I have an outlet, but I'm probably gonna have to just get a extender port on my outlet to manage this. So anyways, let's see. Let me show you the water pump. So the water pump, as you can see, has these suction cups in the bottom, and it just they give a little nice little spot for it to go in, so it's not like floating around as it pumps the water through. And as you can see, there's 4 outlets on that water pump, and so it's just circulating the water throughout to keep it nice and fresh, so the fertilizer is equally distributed between the roots. All right, let's see what else is in this bag. So you have the growing pods, so you just drop your seeds in here after moistening them, or actually they're gonna be sitting in the water. So here actually, oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is here, as you can see my hand through it, there's actually a fill line here. So you actually don't have to open up to see where your water level is. You can easily see if you need to add water. So about 4.5 liters of water to get to the max line. you have the grow pods here, you have the pod holders. So these pod holders, at this point you can go ahead and drop this on there. The pod holders just kind of drop in there, and the pods drop in here, and they have a little grow medium, so you can see it drops in pretty well. And on the bottom you can see that the water line will kind of hit it right there and moisten up the grow pod. They also give you these labelers. Essentially what you can do with these is, once you have something in there, you can kind of drop it in and put the name of the plant on there, and so now you know what you're growing. So I'm gonna have a grid where I write it down, so I don't have to use this, but I'm essentially gonna grow certain things in certain areas, as to avoid like the big plants from overshadowing the small ones. In the short term it doesn't matter, but once the plants get bigger, I don't have plans to transfer them to a pot. Like some people will use this system to just grow, like start their seeds or plants, and then they'll transfer them to a pot, which I'm not planning on doing. They do include fertilizer, so it's not just water and light, right? You need some nutrients for the plants to grow. So essentially there's nutrient A and B, and you can get many different brands. I'll leave some links to the different types of nutrients you may want to use. They include some right off the bat. So essentially it's dry pellets. You have to add water to dissolve it, and then you add certain amount. So I have a water dissolved solid meter, so you can use the dissolved solid meter to figure out how much fertilizer you need in your water. Let's see. Oh, also you have these caps. So essentially when you're first fertilizing or first germinating your seeds, you need to cover them so that it retains the moisture. So the pod that pod doesn't dry out at any moment. So you put this pod on, and then a couple of days later, once it's germinated and you can see the plant growing, you can take it off. So that's what this is for. And you kind of just save these things for the future. You don't throw them away, because you can use this year after year. Okay, so these sticks are essentially something you stick into your pod as the plants are growing to kind of hold them upright. We don't really need them for today's video, so I'm going to put them to the side. I do want to talk to you about the water, but let me show you the bottom. So the bottom, essentially, there's not much to it. It's just grip bottom, so it doesn't slide around. There is a plug to empty the water when you're done with it. I did rinse the inside just to kind of get rid of any dust or whatever that may have collected. You do want to make sure that your plug is in properly, because you don't want water coming out. All right, so on the bottom here, there is a little connector. I'm not sure if you can see in there, but that's for the power. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this here and run the wire through into it, so I have it kind of ready to go. All right, so I have the wire here and ready to go. Okay, so I have two different, so this is tap water, and this is water that I've run through the zero water filter. I'll leave a link up above about this product. So if you have osmosis, reverse osmosis filter at home, you can use that system if the filter has been recently replaced, or you can just buy distilled, like the gallons of distilled water from like Walmart or whatever. So turning this on, so right off the bat you can see there's like 309 dissolved solids in the tap water, and I'm gonna put this in here, and as you can see there's like essentially zero. So this is the filtered water from here. So what we're gonna do is put enough water in here. I'm just gonna move it to this direction so that you can see better, but we're gonna put enough water in here to get to the 4.5 liter line. So when you're first just germinating your cells, you want your water to be at half nutrients. So half nutrient means that these bottles that are included, I've already added zero water to it, so like the distilled water to it, and dissolve the pellets. So it says about 5 mLs, right? It says 5 mLs per liter. So this is 4.5 liters, so it'll be about 22.5 mLs or something. But that's for full nutrient. When you're germinating, you need half nutrient. So I'm just gonna add half that amount to the total water, and then once the the seeds have germinated and I have I'm ready to go to full nutrients for the growth phase, then I'm going to add more. So every time you add every time you add water, essentially you're going to be adding water every couple of weeks just to bring it up to the max line. You're going to have to add nutrients. All right, so just look over here, and I'm just filling up the all right, so I'm about half level. Okay, so essentially I filled it up to 4 liters. That means that it's not at the max line, but I still have some water filtering through, so I'll add on. So essentially you want to do half nutrients when you're germinating your seeds, right? So this thing is 5 mLs per liter if you were doing full strength, which I'm not, so I'm going to do 2.5 mLs per liter. So it's 4 liters, so I'm going to do 10 mLs. So I'm going to do a little over 10 mLs because I'm going to add some water. According to the booklet, every 2 to 3 days, you're going to have to add 16 ounces of water. So when you add that water, you want to add a proportionate amount, which is about half a liter, proportionate amount of nutrients to the water. So I'm measuring 10 mLs. So actually, this is nutrient B, so I'm not going to do that first. Somebody did tell me that you should always do nutrient A first and then nutrient B. So let me just make sure I do nutrient A first. And it's the same amount for each nutrient. All right, so I'm just going to pour that in here. And you can just kind of rinse this cap off and stir the water at the same time. You don't really have to stir the water because as soon as you turn on the pump, it's going to stir the water. Make sure you close your bottle so you don't make a mess everywhere. Same thing with nutrient B. Pour that in there. Wash off the cap. The nutrient B was hard to dissolve because it's like large tabs. But shake it off and you'll be fine. All right, so we're going to put those to the side. Now that we have our water solution ready, it's time to get everything installed. So you're just gonna put the cap on like that. Okay, once you have this on, this thing essentially goes right on top like this and then snaps in place. So, okay, so power's on, so it's gonna beep to say, hey, it has power. Once you hit power button, the light's on. I haven't selected a mode. I can click pump and you can see in there the pump is running. It's going to mix the nutrients. Let's use the TDS meter and see where we're at. I'm hoping to be at about 350 or something like that, but this fertilizer doesn't really use a TDS meter. They do say that you should use a pH strip and get the pH to be at least 5.5 or above. I don't have pH strips, so I'm just going to risk it. But if you have pH strips, or if you plan ahead, you can get pH strips and check and make sure. So we're at 360. I don't know if you can see that, but that's almost exactly where we want to be. So this nutrient solution was essentially perfectly made. So you want to be around 350 for half strength and around 700 for full strength. So we're of course at half strength because that's we're just setting up the seeds right now, or germinating the seeds. Once you're ready, all you have to do is get these pods to be moist. So I'll show you. So once you put it in there, as long as you're close to the max, you'll see in the bottom, see how it's wet? Your pods will get wet. So you don't have to rinse them off separately, but I will do that separately actually. Because I have that fertilized or sterile water, I'm just gonna drop them in there just to kind of moisten them a little bit, but that's not a spot. Oh, and let me just make sure I'm show you. So this thing, make sure you always hold the bottom when you're adjusting the height. Okay, oop, I undid it. And hold it from the bottom, like right here, rather than the actual light. Okay, so I have the pump on, and that's how high it can go. So I'm gonna just put it on all the way at the top, just so that I have some space to work. It does create, this light does create some heat. I can actually already feel it. So in the winter time, it's perfect, because it's like heating up your home too. All right, so I'm noticing here that I did get 2 extra pot holders, so which is great. And can use that next year. All right, so as far as these grower pods, I'm just gonna drop them in there. They gave me 12 of each, but they gave me 14 of each, which is very nice of them. So as you can see, I was at 360 or so in the total dissolved solids, and I wanted to be at around 350, so I have some room to add some water. Plus I didn't fill to the max line intentionally, so I'm just gonna pour some water on each of these. And as you can see, there are some holes here, and those holes kind of drain into the water source. So it's fine if you are like spraying water on your plants and it gets on there, because it'll drain in there. Oop. I'm just trying to moisten my seed pods and making a little bit of a mess. But okay, so now I have the seed pods moist and ready to go. I'm just making sure this is sitting in there. Yep, it is sitting in there. So as you can see, the pods have grown a little as they got moist, which is good. Now they're coming all the way to the top. So I have all my seeds, and I have it set up such that I know where to put them. So essentially, tomato seeds, I'm not sure if 1 or 2 is the correct number, because I don't know how many will germinate. So what I'm gonna do is just put 4. I think 4 might be too many. Maybe I'll do 3. I'll put 3. So because I'm not sure how many will germinate, I'm doing like multiple seeds. But if you have confidence in your seeds and you know how many are gonna germinate, then you can kind of just do 1 or 2. So I'm also doing Roma tomatoes over here, so I'm gonna put the remaining 3 here. And if you have multiple germinate, you can always just cut off to kill one of the plants. So like once they have grown up a little bit and you realize that, hey, I don't actually want 3 plants, then you can just pull off and kill off one of the plants, or 2 of the plants if you need to. So these things, we're ready with those, so we can just cover them up. So I don't know if Roma tomatoes will work. I did see one experiment with this guy doing it on YouTube, and it worked for him. So I bought these seeds off of Valley Seeds on Etsy, Valley Seed Supply, and they sent me some like tips on how to grow them, and they sent me like 1 extra, like I ordered 5 and they sent me another seed just to by taking into consideration like what other things I had ordered. They're like, oh, seems like you're ordering salad greens, so let me send you some arugula. Just super nice of them. All right, so I've got a couple of cherry tomatoes, a couple of Roma tomatoes. It seems like a lot for this area, I know, but this is the first time I'm doing it, so I figured I might as well take a chance and grow it all at the same time. All right, so we got those. Let's do some lettuce seeds. So this is a lettuce mix, which means, this is gonna grow multiple different types of lettuce, which is fine. I'm just gonna just drop in a few seeds. Whatever grows, grows. So I just did 2 of the seeds there, and I'm going to grow a lettuce there and a lettuce here. So I'm just going to switch those pods. So you can always just move them around if you want to change the locations. Once the roots start coming out, if you were planning on transplanting that plant into somewhere else, you can go ahead and do that. But just wait for the roots to start coming out off the pod there, and you can just pull them out of the white part and then drop them wherever you'd like. And so we got cilantro. Let's do some cilantro. So cilantro come in split seeds and full seeds. Some people say that the split seeds germinate a little bit better. Here, these are a mix, so some of them are already split and some aren't. I'm just gonna drop a few in each because I want a lot of cilantro to grow. So even if a lot of them germinate, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna cover those up. So covering up these pods kind of retains the moisture in the pods and allows them to germinate faster because the seeds stay moist. These seeds are good for season after season, so you don't need to throw them out. They're usually good for a couple of years. All right, so the basil, the black seeds of basil. Basil plants get quite large, so we only want a couple of seeds in each because the germination rate on these is 84% according to the supplier, which is pretty good. So if you put two, you should have a pretty good chance that one will germinate. So we're going to do that. All right, and then last off we have arugula. So let's see if we have any information on the germination rate for the arugula. Arugula also, well, it doesn't give you a germination rate, but I think I'll just put arugula is kind of a green leaf, so you can have plenty of that. You can just kind of cut frequently to grow, to eat in your salads or whatever. So I'm just going to put a few seeds each. So I did 4 in that one. And I'm pretty new at this, so I might be doing it incorrectly. But you can follow along my journey. I'm going to post like either weekly or monthly updates depending on how fast the growth rate is. You guys can follow along. Okay, so that's it. It really didn't take me that much time to set all of this up. They also gave me 2 extra or 3 extra of this plastic cover things. Of course, once the germination is done, I'm gonna take this off and then put it back in my kit, so I have it to use for the next time. But as far as setup, that's all there is to it. So when you're germinating, you want this to be fairly close to the light to be fairly close to the seeds for the heat, and so we can kind of get that close up, as close as we can, and then in a few days, in a week or two, once it's germinated and I can see the plants coming out, I can go ahead and take these caps off, and of course every 2 days I'm going to use this to add some water and nutrients to it. And you can use your TDS meter to see if the nutrients have gone down. So if they've gone down from 350 to like 250, you'll add nutrients until you get back to the 350 level. And again, if you have a pH meter, you'll be better off. For now, for me especially, what's happened is I set it up at nighttime just because I had time right now. If I keep it on, it'll stay on for 16 hours overnight, and I don't want it to stay on overnight. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna turn off the light and just let it sit, and I'm going to turn it on in the morning. So now 16 hours a day it's going to stay on, and I'm going to put it in veg mode, so vegetables mode. It's going to turn on, stay on for 16 hours, turn off for 8 hours. The pump will remain on. The pump does make some noise, so as you can hear. So the veg mode will turn on that 16 on 8 off, and there's certain type of lights. If you click to flower, it changes the type of lights. So say once my tomato plants are a certain size, I'm gonna put it on flower mode because I want my tomato plants to flower and give me fruit. So that's why you have those 2 different modes, because you need different types of light. The flower mode will have the red light. The veg mode will add that blue light back on for that growth phase. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off just for the night. I'm gonna turn it on in the morning, so that the machine is only on in the mornings or during the daytime and not at nighttime. All right, so I have it in my spot. So I have my little green area set up with my bonsai. I have a automated watering system. I'll leave a link to it above for that in case you're interested. I'm kind of just using it right now to figure out how well it works. because I'm planning on a long trip, and so I can kind of leave that on when I'm gone. I don't want it to kind of like mess up my ambience here all the time, but right now I'm just testing it. But that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in the follow-up videos, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification icon or the bell icon so that you're notified when I post another video. If you have a question, leave it in the comments. I'll be happy to respond. Otherwise, give me a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.